In 2004, LucasArts and the now defunct Pandemic Studios saw fit to grace the world with one of the greatest shooters known to man, Star Wars Battlefront. It put you right in the shoes of all the heroes and villains you grew up watching on the big screen. You could take down AT-ATs on Hoth, dash between trees on a speeder bike at the Battle of Endor, and attempt to take Vader on as a lowly rebel. It really was one of the greatest moments in gaming history. A year after that, Pandemic Studios would release Star Wars Battlefront II, which complemented Battlefront 1 perfectly, just like C-3PO and R2-D2 do.
Hey man, pick up that dude, man. He's gangster. On the real, though.
Uncle Owen?
Yeah?
What about that one?
Battlefront 2 would greatly improve upon the first entry's formula by introducing better-looking visuals, improved AI, controllable heroes, and space battles. It also included an epic campaign focused around a clone from the 501st Legion as he took on battle after battle. And the year after that, we all waited. And we waited. And we waited. But Battlefront 3 never came. And we were all left wondering what happened to the entry we all desperately wanted. What we didn't know was that Battlefront 3 was in development. It was being developed by Free Radical Design, who also made everyone's favorite video game, Haze. Free Radical Design was selected by LucasArts to carry the Battlefront torch for its third entry, and that third entry, as we would later find out, was pretty ambitious. It was developed to build upon the popular formula of ground and space battles and attempt to seamlessly sew the two together. Levels would feature vicious battles on the surface of a planet where the player could find a starfighter and use it to launch up and above the atmosphere and into the chaos of a battle in space. We learned all of this from footage that would be leaked online, and that footage would lead to a flurry of journalistic investigations and interviews with the aim of finding out just what went down at Free Radical Studios. In one of those interviews, Free Radical co-founder Steve Ellis would reveal that at the time it was canceled, Battlefront 3 was 99% done. Now, he would later go on to clarify that as an exaggeration and instead gave what was a more accurate number, which is 97 to 98% done. So what the hell happened to the game? Was it lost in the annals of canceled video games forever? Nope, it's right here. Sometime around 2016, I think, the files for the game were mysteriously leaked online by some generous benefactor, and fans of the original series pledged to finish its development. And while we haven't seen that quite yet, we have seen some modders hard at work, plugging those finished levels into Star Wars Battlefront II. The mod is called Star Wars Battlefront III Legacy, and the modders making it have successfully made content from the canceled game playable. Now, it should be noted that they are taking an unfinished and fairly old game and plugging those assets into an even older game. So, obviously, things aren't going to be perfect. But you'd be surprised just how finished everything feels. I'm not sure how much Frankensteining the devs had to do to put these maps together, but most of the time they're damn near perfect. And playing through them feels just as chaotic and fun as the previous two entries in the series. So here's the breakdown of which levels are available at this point in time. We have Bespin, Cato Neimoidia, Coruscant, Dantooine, the second Death Star, Lucrehulk, Random Space Battle, Sullen, Venator, Voon? June? One of the two. Each one has some combination of game modes, including your typical capture the command post conquest, Hero Deathmatch, where you fight with popular characters from Star Wars like Grievous and Anakin, Team Deathmatch, which you should be familiar with, and Orbital Assault, which is the new mode where you fight on land and then in space. And Orbital Assault really is the gem of this whole mod. I remember hearing about how they wanted to merge conquest and space battles for Battlefront 3, and I thought that was the coolest idea. And years later, it does feel really cool to take a starship and jettison off toward the galactic convoys and destroyers that are like battling above you in the stars. Even if you are like kind of abandoning your fellow brothers in arms to uselessly like zip around in the sky.
Piece of shit.
The maps are also really well done, and the mod includes a necessary remaster that makes the game look far better than the original. The renewed graphics kind of gave me the vibe that I was stepping into the shoes of the Star Wars action figures I used to own. You can really see the graphics shine in the Death Star 2 map, where the reflections of those around you are clearly visible in the like slick black floor. And that's not the only map that's loyally designed. Like, remember in Battlefront 2 when you could walk into the cantina on Mos Eisley and the jizz would play? The Coruscant map has something appropriately similar. No, I'm just kidding. This is the real music. It's still a bop. I'd drink blue milk and buy death sticks to that for sure. Unlike that coward Kenobi.
You wanna buy some death sticks? Oh no, I'm not brave enough.
Most of the new maps have different elevations you can reach for unique vantage points and vehicles you can operate in a desperate attempt to gain the upper hand. But the AI is actually pretty intelligent, so they're also taking advantage of those vantage points, and for fuck's sake, they love wrecking you with those stupid levitating tanks. In fact, if I have any gripes about the new levels, it's probably that the vehicles are way too common. Instead of taking on command posts like I should be doing, I often feel like I'm trying to blow up some big tank that's in the way. Because as soon as I show my ugly face to the opposing team, I become enemy number one, and that's fine for the most part until you come across one of the heroes. The heroes are way too overpowered. They still have that thing where they gain health from slaughtering enemies, which means they almost never die. To survive, you pretty much have to dome them with a wrist rocket, which they really should be watching for. Now that can lead to some cool moments if you're one of the heroes, like if you're Darth Vader Rogue Oneing yourself through corridors. But it does create kind of an imbalance. Like when I was playing, if I chose to play as a hero, I would find myself plowing through hundreds of them at a time. That being said, hero battles are a little more balanced, and it's as fun as ever to have lightsaber battles against those popular heroes and villains like Mace Windu, Count Dooku, General Grievous, and Zam Wesell. Oh, you don't recognize the name? Zam Wesell? You idiot. It's the shape-shifting bounty hunter from Attack of the Clones, obviously. She can't shape-shift here, though. But how cool would it be if she could? Wouldn't it be neat if she could shape-shift into the opposing team and start killing them as a friendly? Like, how confused would everyone be if they were just getting killed by some random person? Instead, as it stands now, she's just another dummy with a gun. Like, seriously, pitting the gun heroes against the lightsaber heroes is a bloodbath. I mean, it never gets old watching Dooku elegantly maul Padme, and I get why they're in there for variety. But you kind of have to get lucky to win a one-on-one fight with a gun against a dual-wielding goddess like Asajj Ventress, who is letting it all hang out in this game for some reason. Just a quick side note here, listen to what it sounds like when Ventress chokes people. So back to the topic of things that could be tweaked in the mod. The map Lucre Hulk, which is the big separatist droid space station thing, is a little too spacious. It's the only map that feels like the developers hadn't quite finished it. It's essentially a high school track with opponents running far distances to see each other, and once you do find some opponents, there's no cover. And there are no command posts in between to capture, so once you die, you have to walk a mile just to see those enemies again. It's a small gripe, and like I said, the modders are taking an unfinished game and making it playable, so you can't really complain. And speaking of those modders, I want to give a final shout out to them. They are creating this mod for free and out of the kindness of their hearts. I can't imagine the amount of work that must go into making these mods a possibility, and they should be commended for that effort. So, what do you think? Think you might want to mod your own copy of Star Wars Battlefront II to add these maps and features? If you do want to do that, I've put the link in the mod in the description below. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We do streams, playthroughs, cinematic movies, mod reviews, and more. We'd also love for you to chat with us directly. We want New Friend Plus to be a more relaxed medium where people can find community and feel involved rather than feeling like an audience. A link to the Discord is in the description below, so hop in and give us feedback, show us funny memes and videos, and become a part of New Friend Plus. In the meantime, thank you for watching.